Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer. And sorry if you guys hear some cars or anything today, because well, today actually feels like summer for me. It's like 80-something degrees, which may or may not be that impressive, but for me, I don't really like it much more than 70 or so. But anyways, the window's open, so if you hear any cars, apologize for that. Anyways, last time, Alyssa hung herself, which, I mean, I guess in a situation, you know, where you're fending off zombies and you can't seem to escape your current location, you know, things like that would drive people to do stuff like that. So we're down to 3 people, it seems like, right? It's myself, oh wait, no, 4 people, sorry. Shirk is still alive, I think, or not Shirk, router electronic person, right? So, anyways, so what are we going to do now? Asked Masha through her tears. She didn't seem so self-confident now, although we were all in the same situation. Time passed, yet nothing happened. We had to make a decision. I couldn't say that I came back to my senses after what I saw, but I still felt my mind clearing up a bit. I knew one thing for certain: we can't stay here. And it wasn't because it was more dangerous here than anywhere else. It's just because I can't endure staying near the corpse of Alyssa. Okay, so we're going to relocate cabins, maybe. I bet it's even more of a gut-wrenching experience for the girls. We have to go, I said quietly. I felt Masha and Lena hugging me even tighter. We have to. Ryder stopped shaking and left the bed. How are you feeling? I asked Lena. She said nothing. Can you walk? Probably. I gently escaped her embraces and got up. We have to run. At night it'll be easier to go. But Masha tried to make a humble objection. Yeah, I know that we decided to stay, but now we have to get out of here. I turned to Router. You do realize that they shouldn't see all that. Or they shouldn't see all that. Wait, come again? Yep, okay. So are the guys gonna go and like cut her down or something? Or cut the rope? Maybe, I don't know, you probably don't have time to give her a burial or anything, right? He gave a barely visible nod. Although Router didn't know what happened to Alyssa, it was obvious that his vivid imagination had conjured up so many gruesome theories during this time that he was probably even more depressed than me. Yeah, that's the worst thing about not knowing, right? It's because your mind just jumps to like the worst possible thing. Maybe not even possible, but the worst thing. So, okay, we're gonna hold hands and go. I'll go first and lead the way. Masha goes next, and then Lena, then you. So we're gonna do like a close your eyes kind of deal, and like he's already seen it, so like he'll lead, he'll bear the burden of seeing her dead body again, and then everyone else just like closes their eyes and not look and follow. I looked at the girls. They were sitting with their heads hanging down, sobbing quietly. Ready? Nobody replied. This was obviously a useless question. One can never be ready for such a situation. I took Masha's hand, turned her around, and gave Lena and Router a serious look. Okay, now shut your eyes and don't open them no matter what. You got that? Alright, got this. Yeah, Lena nodded. I steeled myself, burst open the door, and went out, holding Masha's hand. Watch out for the steps. Oh, I was gonna say, I was like, okay, that's cool. We don't have to look at her, you know. It's just gonna show the cabin. Nope, just kidding. We're gonna see it. We made our way outside. I darted a final glance at Alyssa. What I saw now didn't send me sprawling on the ground, although my heart was racing frantically. I was feeling sick and dizzy. My stomach turned. She was hanging about 5 meters above the ground. Several neckerchiefs tied together in a string were tightened around her throat. Bulging eyes, protruding tongue, putrefaction already at work on the body. Really? Okay, yeah. It looked like she didn't die a couple of hours ago, but at least a couple days ago. An expression of agony and inhumane suffering was permanently frozen on her face. It was clear that she couldn't have done such a thing to herself. Oh. I was gonna say, 5 feet off the ground, it's kind of... I mean, unless she like climbed up to the tree, tied the noose, and then just jumped off it. Which... yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, would that be enough force to like snap her neck? Or would it just be enough to suffocate her? And I think that's it probably wouldn't snap her neck, her spine. It definitely would break the trachea and all that stuff, right? But so Yeah. Alright, so we suspect foul play here, huh? My god. Who came up with all this? Maybe we are in hell. I hastened my steps away from the diabolical scene, dragging the others along. Fun story. I'm not sure if it's like super fun or not, but I mean, because it has to do with like death and all that stuff. But in Greek mythology, I believe spiders got their name from, oh shoot, it's like Arachnia or something like that. There's a girl whose name is like very similar to Arachnia. I think it was like Arachne or something like that, and I forgot why, but she was hung. And the reason why spiders are named, at least according to Greek mythology, are named after her is because she had bulging eyes, which evidently spiders do. So, you know, one of the, I guess, signs of being hung, I guess. I'm not sure if it's strangulation in general. I think it's just being hung. But it's like the bulging eyes and stuff like that because of the pressure. And then bulging eyes, and then the noose that she had, for some reason, looked like a spider's, like silk, the thing that they hang from, right? So that's why spiders got their, that's where their spiders got their name, at least according to Greek mythology. At least I'm pretty sure I'm reciting that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But yeah, I don't know, that just, for some reason, I just thought about that when I saw, I guess particularly a girl hanging, and to talk about like protruding eyes and all that stuff. Anyways, back to Everlasting Summer. I ordered them to open their eyes only when we reach the square, comrade. She's still there? I mean, yeah. Asked Masha, not letting go of my hand. I've just nodded. I've just nodded? Really? Okay, I have just nodded. Sure. Who? Alyssa? Lena cried out loud and burst into tears. Masha embraced her and tried to comfort her. What happened to her? Muttered Ratter with a faltering tongue. I bet you don't want to know that. For a while, I just stood there and looked at the moon. Lena was sobbing, Ratter was pacing in circles around us, and Masha sat down on the bench and buried her face in her hands. Okay, it's time, I said quietly, yet nobody moved. Can't stay here. I walked to Masha, leaned over, and took her hand. She raised her eyes, filled with tears, at me and nodded. We slowly proceeded to the bus stop. Night had fallen, or has fallen, on the camp. Oh, I don't know, for some reason, so seeing this black screen reminded me of censorship. I wonder if we're playing... No, that's only hentai stuff that was censored outright. I was gonna say, I wonder if any of like this, like murder stuff was censored for the Steam version, but it's only like the sexual stuff that's censored, I think, right? So never mind. Forgot I said that. Along the way, I noticed that the grasshoppers were almost quiet. Oh, that's foreboding. Keeping silent for some time, now they resumed their nasty song, but this time it was much quieter and, I might say, a little bit more respectful. Their daytime progressive noise changed to a nocturnal nocturne for violin and orchestra. Is there any chance they're conscious of what's going on here? Of course, if we assume that that there are grasshoppers in hell too. We came to the bus stop and suddenly hesitated. This does not look great. So where are we going? Okay, never mind, it's fine. I thought they were going to find another body out here given how they look, but it's like, okay, no. Asked Masha, wiping her tears. Okay, we've already tried to the right, let's go to the left. But there's no town there. And just a couple days ago, there was no camp to the right. Maybe we shouldn't, Lena sobbed quietly. We have no choice. I won't stay here any longer. We were just about to get moving when we heard noises approaching us from far away. Okay. Like, even if it's zombies, I just kind of want something to start happening. I strained my eyes and caught a glimpse of someone coming here down the road. A bus! Oh, okay. Exclaimed Ratter with joy in his voice. Shut up, you fool. That's not a bus. People are approaching. I hissed at him. Lots of people. Like a mob? Said Masha anxiously. It was utterly clear that we shouldn't stay here any longer. I turned around and saw someone approaching us down the road from the other direction, too. The noise was getting louder. I was gonna say, does this sound like grasshoppers? It is pretty loud, though. Chirping of grasshoppers, although not their usual one. A much louder, distorted version, as if it had been passed through a guitar amplifier. Run! I shouted. Nobody moved. Oh, screw it. I grabbed Masha's and Lena's hands and darted off back into the camp. Comrade. The girls were floundering in a stupor, so I ended up literally dragging them along. And, for some reason, Ratter was just like, scared just so in shock that he didn't know what to do, and he stayed, and now he's gonna be dead, right? That's what's gonna happen. Having dashed to the square, I stopped to catch some breath, and only then did I realize that Router had been left behind. We have to go back to get him. Too late, he's already dead, right? Masha screamed and shifted towards the bus stop. Are you nuts? I pulled her hand and forced her to stop. You want us all to meet the same fate? Lena was trembling so wildly that I felt my right hand shaking as it held hers. Keep running. Where to? Don't know. Into the woods. Ooh, the bomb shelter maybe. But then you kind of get trapped. So, I don't know. Returning to Olga Dmitrovina's cabin wasn't an option. My self-preservation instinct also suggested that we shouldn't stay in the open area as well. We dashed towards the woods. Man, aren't the woods filled with like booby trap, like little pitfall holes or whatever? And when I think of pitfalls, I think of Animal Crossing. I don't know why, but because they had pitfalls, right? But yeah, and into the woods. I don't know. It seems like a bad idea, but okay. I held the girls' hands tightly. They ran with difficulty, especially Nana, who was swaying and weaving. She fell a few times, but I quickly picked her up, spurring her on with shouts, and dragged her on. Passing through the trees was the hardest part. Though the full moon was shining up in the sky, in the dark, I was still constantly running into snags, branches, falling into pits. Oh, there you go. Nettles were slashing my legs, and leaves were hitting in the face, leaving painful scratches. My heart was pounding heavily. Every breath I took whistled painfully in my lungs. The blood was pounding so heavily in my head that it seemed like my skull was ready to burst from the pressure at any moment. I stopped feeling my body, and my legs carried me forward by themselves. At last, we ran out into a clearing and stopped. Exhausted, the girls fell to the ground, and I sat on a fallen tree. Who were they? People or demons or something else? And where was that chirping sound coming from? I couldn't make them out in the twilight. Oh god. Hopefully it's not vampires. If they are, I hope they're not sparkly ones. But that was probably for the best. After I slightly recovered my senses, I walked up to the girls. Lena was lying dead white on the ground. It seemed like she'd completely lost it. Masha was sitting, hugging her knees and rocking from side to side. We've got to do something, I said as I sat near her. It's too late. We're gonna die, she whispered in a hollow voice. Don't worry, one of you two will make it out, right? Because for some reason, it's like a law, right? Like every horror movie, it's always one girl who survives by either like escaping or like killing the person who's killing everyone, right? Isn't that like a thing, like a trope in the horror movies? We're still alive. That means there's still hope. No, there's nothing now. It's all over. I put my arms around her and held her tight. No, it's not. I sat, staring into the darkness of the forest. The grasshoppers could barely be heard now. If not for Masha's labored breathing, I would think I was dead. Forgive me, she whispered. For what? For she has sinned. Come on. For everything. For being like that. For whatever we failed to achieve. It's not the right time. It's not the right time for that now, I said tenderly. We don't have much time left, so I'd say it's the right time. She looked at me and faintly smiled. Forgive me, if only I hadn't been so selfish in the first place. I looked into her eyes, her bottomless, sorrowful eyes. I felt a hot tear crossing my cheek. No, it's me who should be sorry. I was totally ignorant of what to say in such a situation. I did so much wrong to her, caused her so much pain, and now, at the last minute, I can't think of anything other than an empty I'm sorry. I was overwhelmed with anger at my helplessness, at being unable to protect the only person I held dear. You know, I always loved you. I know, she said quietly. Masha smiled again, although her face was trembling and tears were running down her cheeks. And I still love you. I know. I couldn't stand it. I longed to turn away, to close my eyes, but I can't afford weakness at this last minute. I leaned down and kissed her hard. Kissed her hard? Kissed her hard. Time stood still for us. This cursed pioneer camp, the dark nights, all those hellspawn, and even the bloody grasshoppers just ceased to exist. The whole universe ceased to exist, and just two of us were left. What? Come on, what about Lena? Stab, 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 stab. um, just when I was almost willing to believe that it was all just a bad dream, the woods came alive with rustling. Sorry, I don't know. Every time I say stab, 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 I just remember this scene from, shoot, what's the movie? I think it was like Anarchy or something like that. The second one, I forgot what it's called. It's something Anarchy. I can't remember what the series is called, but the second movie is called like Anarchy. It's basically like one day a year or something when like all the there's no rules, everyone can go out and kill each other or whatever. That movie. I just remember my friend and I watching this scene, and like, this is this guy, he's dead clearly, and this other guy's just stabbing him in the stomach. So my joke with my friend is just like, we just like stab at each other, and it's just like, yeah. Anyways, that's what I was thinking of when I said that. Sorry. Side story, tangent. Got another one for you. Once you found out what happened to Router. The foliage far away quivered, and a swarm of vague silhouettes emerged from the darkness. Uh-oh. Something's happening now. I still couldn't make them out, but I was certain that they are the same creatures that we'd seen at the bus stop. My whole body was stricken with dismay. I was afraid to breathe. What if it was like a rescue group? Wouldn't that be funny? And we just ran away from them. They're like, no, stop, we're here to save you, like legit. And then it's like, oh, so they're just gonna bail on us and die in the forest. So this is how it ends. Yeah. Said Masha quietly and held me tighter. No, this is not the end. Wait, I'm pretty sure Lena's still with them, right? Like, something's gonna happen with Lena. Suddenly I realized that I will fight for her till the last drop of my blood. Oh no, whoops, mistake. This is how it ends. Yep, there we go. As long as there's the slightest chance of survival. I jumped up, tugged her off the ground, and rushed over to Lena. She was lying deathly pale with her eyes open. She didn't seem to understand what was happening at all. I started shaking her by the shoulders. Because that's clearly the way, like, if someone's just, like, on the ground and just can't do anything, you start by vigorously shaking their shoulders, right? Get up. There was no reaction. Oh, she's dead. Just, can you be scared to death? Well, evidently Lena was. I gave her a few slaps, and she let out a dull moan. Okay, never mind, she's okay. Get up, now. Give her mouth to mouth. As I roused Lena, she stared at me with a spaced out look. Let's run. I grabbed the girls by their hands and rushed aimlessly. The further from them, the better. Back into the woods. I was tumbling down, getting up again, helping Lena and Masha get up too, hewing through the dense foliage. Eventually the noise faded, leaving us with only the quiet chirping of grasshoppers. The light flickered in the distance. Which light? Oh, hey! Bunker up. Oh my god, this is where it's gonna happen. We're gonna go to the bunker. There's gonna be like a shotgun for some reason, and then this game is gonna turn into an FPS, and we go blasting zombies. Done. Alright, end of story. That's how it's gonna end. Soon enough, we came out into a small clearing, completely sheltered by trees. By the trees. There was a building that somehow looked like a kindergarten. What is that? Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, we went alone, right? And then we blacked out, or not, I don't know if we blacked out or not, but we fell asleep, woke up in the movie, fell asleep, and then, so, yeah, we've been here before. What is that? I stammered. The building of the old camp, said Lena faintly. It seems that she was slowly coming back to her senses. I stopped, hesitating. Oh, that's right, because the stuff that we happened the first 5 days or whatever doesn't really count towards our memory right now, because we thought we were in a movie, right? Sure, it was quite naive to think that we can find shelter there. It was obvious that we can't be secure anywhere with all the stuff that's happening. On the other hand, we were on the verge of collapsing, especially the girls. I took a few hesitant steps towards the building when the rustling from behind reached my ears. I froze in my tracks, unable to turn around. The rustling was growing louder, and suddenly we heard a diabolical chirping. Oh my god, what? Why are there so many zombie Ilyanas? I forced myself with a superhuman effort to turn around. That's pretty creepy. Oh look, this one's got his eyes falling out. That's cool. Yeah. Or are they missing an eye? Are these all these guys with the red eye? Is that like an actual eye and everyone else just doesn't have their eyes? I think she's missing her lower jaw. Alright, the crowd was behind me. A crowd of little girls. Are these... So, in zombie films, right, there's like the slow shambling ones, and there's like the really quick, like agile ones. What kind of zombies are these? They seem to be slow shamblers, or at least like like a decent, like an average walk speed. They're not like shambling, but they're not like running either, so. Or rather, a crowd of Olyanas. That's what I said. They were all exactly the same as that Olyana I saw this morning, with the same torn face and horribly distorted smile. And all of them made the same hellish sound, the chirping of grasshoppers, a diabolical noise that chilled my heart. Oh, that's kind of funny. I wonder if they ate a bunch of grasshoppers and that's why they're chirping. Like maybe the grasshoppers aren't actually dead, just like sitting in their stomach or something. I don't know. We froze where we stood, unable to take a single step away. Oh, hey, there's our friend Router, huh? So, yeah, the story I was going to tell, in high school, we had two buildings, because our school was, we had so many students in our school, they had to build a second building in order to have enough classrooms for all the students. So there's a second building. It's only like, really, I mean, it's like 2 minutes away from the other building, right? Really, 2-3 minutes. But there was a group of friends that I had, and we somehow, like, for the most part, we had like all the same classes except for like 1 or 2. Like we'll have one class where like 4 out of the 5 or 6 of us were in that class, and then we had like 4 other classes where all of us were in the same class, and like one other class where like 1 or 2 people were missing. But anyways, we would all walk together, and I had this one friend who would like, he drinks so much water throughout the day that he'd always have to pee, like whenever we're like between classes, and so we always left him behind. He would go to the bathroom, and we would just keep walking, and he would catch up. Which is not too bad, right? Because like I said, 2-minute walk. So there was a running joke for us that whenever we were in a group, we always had to leave one person behind. And it was like, no, it's like in the movies and stuff, it's like, no, leave no man behind, right? If someone falls down, you go and help them. Then our justification was like, no, if you're like being chased by like something, you leave one person, they can like sacrifice themselves and you save everyone else. Which, you know, is pretty morbid, but, you know, our joke was built off the fact that he was always using the bathroom, so we always had to leave him behind. Other times would be other people if he didn't, you know. We would always try to leave one person behind, or at least when we had packed up our stuff. Like we would wait until everyone was ready except for one person, and then we would all leave, and then they would just like catch up with us when they finished packing. Anyways, that aside, I guess they ate his body and they just kept his head as a souvenir. All of a sudden, one of the Olyanas came forward from the crowd and pulled the severed head of Router from behind her back. So they're actually kind of smart. They're not just like, oh, I'm just gonna carry this head, right? They're like, hey, we know what's up with you guys. Like, we're gonna like freak you out and like show you the head, and we're like keep it secret from you, and then boom, bust it out. So they know what's up. They know what's up. They're not dumb zombies. They got some intelligence in there. A grimace of horror was permanently frozen on his face. I almost fainted as she started to oh, she can talk. Hi there, Semyon. How are you doing? I don't know why that's my zombie voice, I guess. Then again, I don't do voices, so. Her voice felt like a bullet piercing right through my brain. I screamed and fled towards the old camp building, dragging the girls along. I must admit that back then, I'd completely stopped thinking of Masha or Lena. Maybe they were also screaming, maybe they were shackled by horror. I don't know, or I do not know. The most important thing now is to get as far away as possible from these monsters. How does she replicate? Maybe it's like whenever she like converts someone into a zombie, they somehow morph into her form too. Which is, I think that's new, right? That's a new like. So I remember someone mentioned that zombies form, or at least one of the reasons for like how zombies come to be is like a virus or something. So I guess if that's the sense, and it's biologic, even though technically, if you want to get really technical, viruses are not living, therefore they're not really bio in the sense of life, but there's a biology of or there's virology. So maybe there isn't biology of virus. Anyways, maybe they're evolving, because they do evolve. They've evolved to have this new added, like, for some reason, you're just, like, your host turns into whatever, you know, form the zombie that converted you into a zombie took. So, I don't know, but hey, we got a bunch of zombie lollies, so that's cool, I guess. We flew into the building, and immediately the ground disappeared underneath our feet, and I fell into darkness. Oh, did you fall into the trap hole or something? I awoke in complete darkness. My whole body ached, especially my legs, but somehow I still managed to get up, leaning against the wall. The sound of the Olyanas was nowhere to be heard, which calmed me down a little. I called out in a thin voice, Masha, Lena, not as a question, but yeah. I heard a movement nearby and felt someone gripping my leg. I instinctively jumped back, but at the same moment, a faint voice came from below. Are we still alive? Seems like it. I helped Masha get up. Suddenly, a bright light fired up a couple meters away from me. I leaned against the wall, trembling, but immediately realized that it was Lena, who had turned on a flashlight. Where did that come from? Yeah, where did it come from? Where did you get that? Lena came closer, limping. Oh. Didn't we have a flashlight when we passed out that one time? Maybe she has that one. For some reason, it's still here. Oh, I just took it in case yesterday. Never mind. Wouldn't that be so crazy? That'd be like so meta right now. Like, yeah. I took the flashlight from her and shone it around. We were in some kind of tunnel. The walls were lined with wires. Unlit lamps were hanging from the ceiling. Where are we? I don't know. It looks like some kind of bomb shelter. I looked up and saw a pretty formidable hole, beyond which one could barely make out the hallway of the old camp building. The floor had probably rotten with age, and we fell down here. Oh, so they fell through, not the trapdoor. At first glance, there was no way to climb back up, or back, too high, and there was nothing to grab. So what is it there? Go further? Wait, so what is there? Go further? I asked, not really expecting an answer. I don't know, but we'll have to check. I shone the flashlight ahead of us and took a few uncertain steps. My whole body was covered in bruises and scratches, but I could still walk. Ouch. Then I cried out from behind me. Or cried out behind me. What is it? I think I sprained my ankle, or at least you didn't break a bone, which that's what I thought would have happened. I was honestly expecting the next line to be something cliche like, leave me behind, I'll only be a burden. Yeah. But of course, she could never say that. Okay, lean on me. When you're not strong, right? I shouldn't try singing. I went over to Lena and offered her my shoulder. Oh man, we're gonna go left. All the way through the maze. Doing this. What if we find Shuriken here again? Wouldn't that be crazy? Man. Soon enough, the stone walls gave way to wooden ones, and we ended up in some sort of mine. Let's have a break, Masha begged. I carefully lowered Lena to the ground and sat down nearby. Well, at least those monsters are nowhere to be seen. But for how long? I sighed heavily and closed my eyes. What do you think is going on in here, or on here? Masha's voice was trembling, but she still sounded more or less confident. Looks like she's so exhausted and devastated that there's just no strength left for her for fear. I don't know, and honestly, I don't want to know. But we're gonna get out? Definitely. I couldn't see her face, but I was sure that she was smiling. Oh, can we collapse the mine on all the Ilyanas? There's a plan. Let me grab some activated charcoal and I'll make a bomb. Suddenly the flashlight blinked and went out, of course. But somehow it's still light. I hit it with my palm several times. The mine's walls lit up with dim light once again, and I immediately realized that something was wrong. Lena was nowhere to be found. Lena's disappeared. Okay, so my theory about Lena may or may not be still true. I'm doubting it now just because she's gone, but at the same time, she could still just disappear, and then it's like, boom! She's behind it all. Kill us. Done. I whispered. What? Masha grabbed me by the sleeve and stared at the spot where Lena had been sitting a moment ago. How? But how? She started to cry quietly. We will die. We will definitely die. I also very much wanted to burst into tears. Darkness surrounded us all around, closing in. The flashlight was gradually dying, and with it, our chances of survival. Get up. Time to go. The battery will die soon. A couple of minutes later, we came to a fork. What the hell? What the hell? Is this some kind of labyrinth too? I hissed under my breath. Let's go back, maybe? No way. Masha pressed against me even harder. Where to then? I don't know. We had to choose anyway. I decided to go right. No! We always go left! So we came to another fork. Where to now? Stick to the direction we... No, you're doing it, Semyon. You're doing it wrong. We had been wandering for too long. We had neither strength nor will left to move on. I was so terribly thirsty, I was ready to lick the moisture from the walls. Let's sit. Just a little bit. Or a bit. We can't. We must keep going. But just a minute, she's gonna die. Masha begged in anguish. Fine. She lowered her head onto my shoulder, and the flashlight was blinking more and more often, so I decided to turn it off for now to save the battery. This is it. Oh, I was like, is it gonna be a new day? But it's not. Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna end it right here. Yep, I'm just gonna do that. So, router, we left him behind, just like my friends in high school. That kind of came out weird. So yeah, we left router behind. He's dead. He's decapitated, but at least it's a souvenir. So, you know, win a little, you lose a little. Lena's gone now. No body, so still kind of suspicious. Don't know what's going on there, but I think my theory still holds out. Although, actually, you know what? I think it lends a little bit more credibility to my theory about Lena having something to do with this, and she disappeared, and she's gonna wait for us to get like really, really tired, and then just like stab, or something like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens next time. Maybe we'll find Lena's body. Maybe she's behind it. Who knows? So we'll figure it out next time, like I said. And until then, thank you for watching. Bye.